Thank you, Minu. So I'll be talking on lens subluxation. So not all patients with subluxations would need surgery. Only if the patient has subluxation with cataract, or if the patient has defective vision because it is the phakic status, or there is diplopia because the lens is dissecting the pupil, or the nucleus is in the anterior chamber or vitreous
Haripriya, your
cavity.
PPT is not on.
Oh, it is not?
Your PPT is not on. Is
Yeah,
it on? Is everybody else able to see?
Yeah, you open the PPT before and then share again.
Yeah,
It was not
Yeah,
on.
you open it first and then share, please.
so it's working now. It's fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, this is fine. Yeah. Full screen, please. Yeah.
The slit lamp examination, one has to look at the cornea, status of the iris, pupil, any mydriasis, anterior chamber depth. Presence of vitreous is also common in patients with lens subluxation. And look for phacodonosis. This will give an idea if it's a more diffuse subluxation. If it is localized, we'll have to look at the degree of subluxation. If there is gross phacodonosis, it's always better to have the patient lie down on the supine position to see if the lens is following back, in which case it's better to have the patient refer to the VR surgeon. So in terms of approaching a patient of lens subluxation step by step, capsulorhexis is very critical. So one would have to use a good viscoelastic, a high molecular weight viscoelastic. The blue can be used to stain the capsule, both to aid the rhexis and to be able to insert your hooks and the CTR. One would also like to initiate the rhexis away from the area of subluxation. So this patient, the subluxation is significant, but if you note the lens is not too wobbly, so it's adequate to go with your cystotome for the rhexis. Start the rhexis at the area where the zonules are intact. This way one will have counter traction. And as you progress to the site where there is subluxation, it has to be slightly smaller because there's a high chance of extension to the periphery if you make it large on that site. An important device which we use would be the capsule tension ring, which is extremely useful for patients with mild to moderate subluxation. The CTR comes in 3 different sizes. Most often we use the 11-13 size. The 11 size will be the size of the ring within the capsular bag. In myopes, we could go for the larger, and in patients with microsclerophilia, we'll go with a smaller CTR. So in terms of insertion of the CTR, the timing would be you would like to delay the insertion as much as possible, but as early as possible based on the requirement. So because cortex wash can be a hindrance when you have the CTR in place. So for mild subluxations, I would like to delay the CTR placement to up to the just before or just after the lens placement. The other very useful device is the capsule retractor. I use iris retractors as well, the ones made by Grieshaber for the same purpose. This would help in rhexis completion and CTR insertion. This would be inserted at the area of maximum zonular weakness, and this can help both for the phaco part and for the lens implantation as well. So even if one does not use it for the earlier steps, one can consider using it during the phaco or in the lens placement. So this patient has a little more tilted lens compared to the earlier one. I'm using Viscoat here to try to push the lens back, preventing vitreous prolapse, and to have the lens move flat. I normally do my rhexis through the main tunnel, but here I like to go through a side port, so there's less chance of any visco escape. Again, the rhexis is smaller on the size of the subluxation because once the bag gets entered after you place your CTR, this would be correct. So one will have to make a slightly smaller rhexis here than the normal patients because there is a higher chance of rhexis extension. For bag stability, I'd go ahead and place the hooks before placing the CTR. Now this I would do before doing the hydro dissection because this way one can see the rhexis margin clearly. So one hook for every 2 clock hours is what I would suggest. So about 3
हाँ
hooks
मीटिंग
for
में हो रात को बात करूंगा या कल
about 6 clock hours.
कुछ इमरजेंसी है क्या
So we have about
AIC चल रही है मैं अगले हफ्ते मिलूंगा
yeah. Amit, I think your mic is on. You may have to.
रात में सेशन है मैं फोन कर लूंगा जब फोन करूंगा ना फ्री रहूंगा.
So the hydro dissection is done after the hooks are placed and the CTR is implanted after that. This way the chance of the cortex getting entangled between the CTR and the bag is lesser if you do the hydrodissection earlier. While inserting the CTR, ensure that the leading haptic goes in the bag. I prefer to have the manual insertion technique. One can also consider using the goiter or the single-use injector as well. But if you're using the manual technique, go into a side port and have the leading eyelet go into the bag under the rexus margin. The rest of the ring is then gently nudged forward, and the trailing eyelet one has to take care to ensure it goes in the bag. So before the trailing eyelet is released, stabilize the CTR from the outside using a Sinskey hook. So one can use a Sinskey in the non-dominant hand through the opposite side port, stabilize it from the outer side of the CTR, or you can also use the eyelet on the trailing haptic to hold on to the trailing eyelet and then release it in the bag to prevent it being released in the sulcus or in the anterior chamber. So in patients with more severe subluxation, one will have to use the modified ring or use a capsule tension segment, which is like a 5 mm ring, and this additional loop on the CTR can be fixed to the sclera for better stability. So before the Sioni ring is being placed, the ring is, you have a tenoprolin suture which is passed through the ring or the eyelet, and the suture is then brought out to the sulcus above the rexus margin, and the knot is tied on the sclera. This way the IOL capsular complex gets centered during and following surgery as well. This is a patient where if the lens is slightly tilted, there is gross subluxation. So rexus is a challenge here. So I initiated with the cystitome, but then continue with the capsular rexus forceps, again making it larger away from the area of subluxation. So the goal here is to have a rexus to be able to fixate the bag using a Sioni ring. So once the rexus is completed, I'd like to stabilize it with the hook, which can again be a challenge in patients where the lens is tilted. So even when if it's not tilted, if there is an issue in hooking the rexus margin, one can stabilize the bag using a spatula with the non-dominant hand, lift it, and then hook the iris hook or the capsule hook on the rexus margin. So the bag is now stabilized, it is centered, but there is no CTR I have placed here in this patient. The hydrodissection is being done, and then the phaco is started. So in terms of phacoemulsification in these patients with lens subluxation, one has to have very careful setting, slow motion phacoemulsification. Of course, we have the benefit of good machines today. I'm using the Centurion system. IOP is about 40. So we don't want too much of lens movement. So you want to be very gentle. A good hydrodissection is very useful. Using adequate power and vacuum, the lens is broken down into small fragments and aspirated. The goal here is you don't want any wedges prolapse, number one. Number two, you don't want the bag to collapse, which can also happen because this patient, though it is being stabilized from above with the hooks, the equator is free because there is no CTR. So if one does want to use a CTR to aid in phaco, we can use the option of CTR before phaco and then use a capsule tension segment to stabilize the bag to the sclera. The cortex aspiration with the coaxial irrigation aspiration again is a challenge, even without the CTR, because the bag is very weak. So very careful aspiration, very gently. I'm just holding the anterior leaflet of the cortex and aspirating it out, which is interspersed with injecting viscoelastic between. Because this way you can push the bag back and then go back to aspirating the rest of the cortex. The Sioni ring is before it's being implanted, I pre-thread the loop with a tenoprolin suture on two long curved needles, insert the leading eyelet. While inserting, ensure the convex portion of the loop is introduced. So a 2.8 mm would be required to implant a Sioni ring. So the convex portion, that way you don't have it flexing out. Insert the whole ring, again guided with a second instrument to ensure the trailing eyelet is as well as released within the bag. And then one will dial the loop to the area of maximum subluxation. And the loop is then brought out up above the bag onto the sulcus. So the two suture needles which are out to the wound have to now be brought out to the scleral flap. So here I am creating the Hoffman's pocket instead of a flap to create the space to tie the knot of the sutures. So to fix the ring to the sleeder, I'm passing a 26 gauge needle and receiving the needle tunnel. Second needle also will be passed in a similar fashion, about 1 millimeter from the main, the first needle. The second needle is also passed. This is about 1 millimeter from each other, and through the Hoffman's pocket, the suture is looped
Sorry
out.
to interrupt, ma'am.
Pardon?
Sorry to interrupt, ma'am. Your time is up.
Yeah, I'm going to be
It's okay.
finishing.
That's
Yeah, I'm going to be finishing in a
Okay.
few seconds.
Okay, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah, so and then tying the
it's okay. Carry on, Haripriya. We have some time, so let's carry on. Let's finish this.
yeah, this is the last case. And then the pocket is closed. And again, though the hook was not used earlier, the hooks are being placed again. A 3-piece IOL is then placed in the back. Again, a 3-piece IOL is placed here because even in spite of the CONE, there's a chance of lens subluxation dislocation. So to aid in iris or scleral fixation, a 3-piece is preferable in patients with gross lens subluxation. After which the hook is removed and pilocarpine is injected to ensure there is no vitreous in the anterior chamber and the eye is closed. So this is another patient with 2 loops which has been implanted if there is a more gross subluxation. So post-op, you'll have to follow up the patient for any uveitis. Raised IOP could be a concern. Look out for capsular phimosis early post-op and PCO late post-op. And decentration can also be an issue in these patients with severe subluxation. Thank you.